crap. We're here to engage in magic and poorly worded spells and whatever the heck is going on over here. Yeah. So we got at least one serpent to kill. I think this serpent we actually know how to kill at this point because we've got a bunch of lights shining on him, which is the actual secret to the time serpent is cage him in with a bunch of different time zones. I guess the serpent does not deal well with daylight savings time or whatever the heck is actually going on with these lights. So that's cool. That's probably an out. We know the water serpent's weakness. Actually, I should probably take a look at the weaknesses, right? So we know the water serpent's weakness, but we don't know how to acquire oil. So that's not super helpful. Yeah, we're only at 1 of 7, which is we're going to be here for a while. Although now I'm going to start teleporting around, and I feel like I can just go to destinations, right? Like, at this point, I've kind of explored all of the area, so it's just a matter of bouncing around and doing all the things I need to do as soon as I figure out what those things are. So I think we are in a pretty good place because we can now just like go to all the relevant points of interest instead of still like trying to figure out what's where. But there's definitely some serpents we don't know how to access and some serpents we don't really know how to kill either. So we do still have some work to do. So I guess let's get started on doing that work. All right, so here's the plan. The plan is blow the whistle. The sound of the whistle scuds across the open water. A few minutes later, the undergrowth nearby begins to rustle. Approach the bushes. There's bushes? Why are there bushes? Sure. Approach the bushes. You approach the bushes, curious to see what is making the noise. All right, comes a grumbling voice from between the leaves. Hold your horses, I'm coming. What's your rush? I seek to cross Lake Ilklala, you declare. Oh, I figured as much myself, he replies crossly. And I'll take you, course I will. The man emerges from a bush. A scruffy, unwashed individual, somewhat overweight, but with the shoulders of an ox that he no doubt needs to pull across the water all day. He scratches his chest thoughtfully. Greetings? Sure, greetings! And greetings unto you, yon scruffy tramp, he replies, scratching his nose as he speaks. Now, where to? I mean, I did say, right? Told you. Of course he wants to cross the lake, he laughs. Everyone wants to cross the lake. Everyone that's around these parts anyway. But I still ask where to, it's my little jest. He wipes a little tear from his eye. Oh. What a guy! Right then, whatever you want on the lake. 4 gold pieces. I mean, okay, I can pay him that one. Sure, whatever you say. You pay him the money. He disappears into the undergrowth once more and reappears a few moments later, dragging a heavy boat behind him. Give me a hand, idiot! He barks. Well, okay, if you say so. Together, you pull the boat into the water. It bobs and rocks in the shallows, but seems seaworthy enough. I mean, why is this even an option? Yes, we're getting in the boat. You get in. Then he pushes you out into the water and hops aboard himself. Away from the shore. Yeah, that is the first step. The boat slides away from the shore. The air moves a little, still icy, but fresh. The boat drifts. The ferryman stands at the prow, scanning the water. Charon's upped his prices. No kidding. Charon's let himself go over the years, is what this looks like. You going to the ancient road? He asks. All the way to High Zaman? The ancient road? Well, that's an interesting way of putting it. It used to be a thriving settlement, this. One of the most powerful cities in the world. Before the curse, of course. The curse? Tell me more about the curse. That's true, it is supposed to be 2 for a ride. Well, I guess the exchange rate between gold and oboloi is not particularly good. You've walked the wilds, I'd say. You've seen it. Nothing stays real for long round here. Things don't happen in the right order. Unstuck the whole place. Glancing down at the oars still resting in the boat, and then at you, he shrugs his wide, heavy shoulders. Plenty of places to see on Lake Oclala, he muses. And a few below. He hefts his pole and stares away into the distance. Okay. Well, I guess we need to figure out where we're going. I think the first goal is going to be the tower. So, let's head to the... We can go up the river? That doesn't seem right. But we can go around this side of the lake if we wanted to. Is there a problem with crossing the time stream? That seems maybe dangerous, but not, like, super dangerous? I don't know. Presumably, he's... I guess the question is this guy unstuck the same that I'm stuck, right? Like, is he in all of the times, or is he only in the current time? I guess let's find out. Let's cause problems and see what occurs. Hello? The ferryman pulls the boat onwards across the water. A few clouds race across the sky. It seems you have reached a part of the lake that is too deep for the pole. The ferryman points sharply at you and snaps, "Take the oars, fool, and start rowing!" Somehow his manner seems to have changed quite suddenly. His tone is altogether more aggressive. If I'm going to row, I want my money back. Take it, the ferryman replies, tossing the coins at your feet. Is the boat just going to disappear if I pick this up? Probably. That sounds like a thing. You reach down and collect the gold pieces. He nods twice to himself and steps down from the prow to near the rowlock. But he doesn't do anything for a moment more, letting the boat drift on. Okay. Well, that's fine. If I get my money back, it's cool. The ferryman continues to row, but somewhere along the way, you pass out of the light from the distant beacon, and the ferryman's grumbling talk seems to waver and disappear. As does the boat itself. What? I see. That's dangerous. Ah. Okay. So let's rewind, shall we? And go around the edge and see if this works out better. Since we need to be careful. Ancient road. The curse. Continue. Apparently, we need to be careful not to accidentally get in the time stream. Because, like, this is part of this, or part of the serpent's path? Something like that? Serpent ended up here. But if we cross into the other time, I guess the boat's not real. Okay, so let's go around this way, I guess. Alright, well, if I'm going to row, I'll demand my money back. Pick them up. And let's go. Near the island. Ah, lucky. We crossed the time thing, but he didn't disappear yet. The ferryman continues to row. The rising winds pull at your hair and cloak. From his place at the oars, the ferryman watches you thoughtfully. "You been to Tinpang?" he asks. "You from there?" "I have been there." "Strange place, Tinpang," the ferryman replies. "It was destroyed a long time ago, turned into a ruin. Completely abandoned. Long time ago. But people still come down the road time and again, wanting ferrying from there. It's most of my trade." "Where do they go, these people?" "Ah, that's a good question. And the strange thing is, all different places. Some are headed for the Horns, trying to get across them since the bridge is gone. Others want the Zarmen Road, but are meaning to turn south to the sea. Others still think the fortress will harbor them." Tell me more about all of this. The fortress? The fortress of sorcerers. That's what Mampang was called before it became Mampang. Before the Archmage really came into his own. The ferryman takes another long pull on the oars. "Do any visit the islands?" "The islands?" he replies, surprised. "Now why would they do that? All these islands are empty." "Were they always empty?" The ferryman shrugs. "Most likely not. It used to be a busy like this." The ferryman chuckles. "Well," the ferryman replies, with a twinkle in his eye, "I can see you'll never be setting foot in Tinpang again anyhow. You've come within reach of the bay of a low island." What does that mean? I'm not going ashore here. We gotta get to this island first. That's the big priority. The ferryman pulls at the oar in a regular rhythm. It is very warm now. You begin to sweat under your cloak. You travel for a moment in silence. What can you tell me of the 7 serpents? The 7 serpents, he replies thoughtfully. Well, there are 7 of them, but there's only one you need to worry about. Which one? You'll see soon enough. His expression is distant and glazed over. He has stopped lifting the oars, and yet the boat still moves onwards across the water as though compelled. What's moving this boat? There is no reply. He does not seem to have heard you. His face is static and unmoving. What have you seen? You demand, twisting in your seat. The ferryman's mouth falls open. A curious hissing sound emerges. The ferryman is a serpent! Help him? Does that work? You reach out to catch him as his body slumps sideways and a plume of thick smoke emerges from between his teeth. Oh, that's the gas! Wave the gas away. Cast a spell? I wonder if I can Fusro-Da the gas away. His body remains in place for a moment, then collapses like a limp sack, slithering into the bottom of the boat. Can I cast Huff? Aw. Oh, no, yeah. I can Huff. I'm gonna huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow away the Serpent of Air. Easy peasy. No problem. Guess who's vulnerable? It turns out the air serpent is vulnerable to air. It's like Metal Man in Mega Man 2. He's got a variety of different tactics and vulnerabilities, but really he is most vulnerable to himself. You weave the enchantment, placing your gale horn to your lips and playing a clear tone. The creature, the air serpent itself, struggles to hold itself together in the face of the blast of wind from the horn, but it cannot manage it. A moment later, it has been blown, quite literally, to smithereens, and all is quiet. The boat rocks twice, then falls still. You have now defeated 2 of the 7 serpents. Apparently the air serpent can hide inside someone? That's super weird. The air serpent has the power of mind control by virtue of being a gas inside. Ugh. You were about to make the Metal Man joke? By virtue of being a streamer, I have defeated you. My 5-second lead time on you has made me come out victorious. Your good cheer is tempered by the knowledge that you have barely begun to defeat your enemies. There are, after all, still 5 serpents left. Well, that worked out really well. Alright, I guess we're going to the middle of the lake now. But I still want to get to here. You row the boat onwards across the water. The mid-afternoon heat floods the region. You pull on the oars, sliding forwards through the water. Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty convenient so far. They took that out of the Steam Mega Man Legacy Collection version of Mega Man 2. Really? Really? He's no longer weak to himself? That's really unfortunate. I thought that was super cool. You row the boat onwards across the water. The sun is beginning to lower. The air begins to cool. Every stroke is hard through the strange, thick water. You pause for a moment. Several yards ahead, the water is bubbling upwards. What does that mean? Cautiously, you scull towards the frothing water. Closer in, you start to notice that as each bubble breaks on the surface, there is a sickly smell. Is this dangerous, or is this, like, natural? I mean, I guess it could be natural and dangerous. Inhale, seems bad. Look down into the water. You lean out over the side and peer through the murk. Somewhere far below, something shadowy is moving slowly by. The bubbles rise from a hole in its back. Then the shadow passes and it's gone. Is it like a whale? That was a bug? Weird. Yeah, I was gonna say, like, that's it. For a bug, that's, like, feels very specific, as well as, like, very iconic. You wait a little longer, but nothing changes. It seems whatever it was here truly has moved on. Okay, well, goodbye, whatever was here. You row the boat onwards across the water. Slowly, the sun begins to make its way back down the sky. The oars draw whirls and ripples in the surface of the lake with every stroke. You've come into sight of a small island. We're definitely going ashore here. Civ Gandhi being the most warmonger. That's pretty fun. You feel like you missed out on life content not playing much of Mega Man. Ah, okay. So, in this case, what we're talking about is Metal Man, one of the bosses in Mega Man 2. So, generally, the idea behind Mega Man, one of the things that's, like, core to the Mega Man conceit, is that you kill bosses, get their weapons, and then you can use those weapons against the other bosses, right? Each boss has its own weakness, and there's a chain of weaknesses around the whatever 8 bosses show up in the game. So, like, you know, you use fire against Woodman, and you use bubble against Fireman, etc., etc., etc. So one of the bosses, Metal Man, had one of these normal weaknesses. I think air was especially good against metal or something like that. And it, you know, instead of taking like 20 hits with a pea shooter, took like 8 hits with the air gun or something like that, whatever it was. But in Metal Man's case specifically, during the refights, during the Dr. Wily stage, you have to refight all the bosses. If you used his own weapon against him, the metal blade against Metal Man, it would one-hit KO him. And no, that's never been seen anywhere else in the Mega Man games. Just specifically this one guy, his own weapon, super good against him. Apparently that was a bug, but it's definitely, like, a thing that is pretty iconic about Mega Man 2 specifically. And, So yeah, it's just super weird to find out that they fixed it in a later version of the game. It's very funny. You row the boat onwards across the water and then pull it up onto the shore. The evening is drawing in. It will be dark soon. I mean, I guess so. The island is covered in dense tree cover. The top of a stone tower is just visible above the canopy. In the shallows stands a tall pole from which hangs a bell. A bell? Now, why is there a bell? Maybe to summon the ferryman? It seems odd. Pulled up in the shallows is your rowboat. My rowboat! That's right, that's right. The Metal Man, your favorite part of the game was the Metal Man Ryu fight? Yeah, I see it. It was pretty funny, yeah. You just, like, get into the fight, you toss out the one metal blade, and pew, pew, pew. Instantly, it was great. It was great. Look at the bell. Well, okay, I could look at bells. That doesn't cost me anything. The bell is set with a silver clapper attached to a rope. The wind shifts a moment, bringing with it a terrible stench. Then the smell is gone. Why is everything so smelly out here? Well, I'll ring the bell, whatever. You tug the rope and the bell rings with a clear and steady chime. Nothing happens. Oh. Well, okay then. North of Milpitas. Oh no. Ooh. Smelpitas has gone even into sorcery. You move away from the shore and into the tree cover of the island. Let's check out the tower. The path winds along the shoreline, skirting an area of dense trees. Then it ducks below the canopy, and you're surrounded by the calling of strange insects. Strange creatures, apparently. Insects and birds buzz past your face. From the shore, you saw a stone tower sticking up between the trees that fill the island's heart. But now you cannot see the way forward, and the paths seem to twist and turn about. Oh, I wonder if I can howl my way out of this. I do seem to be able to howl my way out of this, but what else can I do? Telepathy? Hover? Hovering? Hovering may be good. Featherfall? Oh, Farsight. Oh, yeah. You can always cast Farsight near the towers. That's interesting. And how? Not so concerned with safe passage. Maybe Zen to get above the trees? Consulting the constellations above, you bind the spell... Zen, says Regnar. Yeah, okay. And the medallion begins to glow as you rise gently up into the air. Floating upwards, you're able to clear the canopy layer and look across the island. The tower is immediately obvious from here, and it is not far either. Land and walk. Curious. Very curious. I feel like the woods are like the Lost Woods. Like, there's actually no path through them, or like you have to be like specific about your path through them, because like you cannot see the way for like this, right? So maybe we just float over to the tower and sidestep the whole issue. You float quickly over to the tower, arriving near it just in time to land on its roof. Once again, the tower is topped with a movable cylinder and a blue crystal. Your weight returns, and you settle gradually back down to the ground. From here, you can see across the island the water that surrounds it. More interesting is the shoreline further south, where the ruins of 2 statues are just visible atop a broken landing stage. It must have been a grand harbor once. For a moment, you seem to see a great winged creature lift itself up from the waters of the lake, but a moment later it is gone. Alright, well, let's turn this crap on. You activate the beacon quickly, and yet another beam of light shines out across the land. What is going on over here? There are a number of places to shine this. Trying to see how they differ when I shine it on them. So this hut is pretty impermanent. It's there in the past, I think, but not in the present. But the big deal right now is this idiot. So let's do this and go take out the Time Serpent. You adjust the contraption with a familiar ease, adjusting its settings and eyepiece until you are satisfied with the results. Once more, you feel a great rush of wellness from using the beacon. I love that by activating a save point, I get to refill my health. Very iconic. Open the hatch on the floor. I think we're good here. There is a hatch leading downwards, but it will not open. It must be bolted on the other side, or jammed shut. I see. Touch the blue crystal. You return from the sky. I don't want to touch the blue crystal. I can't zen my way out of here? I gotta teleport? Oh, no. I guess we have goofed. We should have landed and walked. Alright, well, I'm rewinding. There's no way I'm gonna live with that decision. Hearthstone! Seems to be the case. Alright, so we're still gonna zen up. But this time, we're going to land and walk. Since apparently, we cannot zen down. You settle down to earth, making sure to remember the position of the tower through the trees. A flock of nearby birds startle at something, lifting suddenly into the sky. You set off through the trees. After a few minutes of walking, you come within sight of the base of the stone tower. It is heavily overgrown. The door to the tower stands open. Gnarled roots and vines have forced it open and are now holding it ajar. Damn. The inside of the tower is dank and filled with mud, as though it has been flooded and emptied several times. Stone stairs curve up to a hatch in the roof. You gasp as you notice the walls, which are covered floor to ceiling with intricate carvings. Suddenly, something lights up in one dark corner. A flame. Flame? The flame seems to hover a short way off the ground. As you watch, it swells in size, from a single thumb to a fireball size of a small dish. It's a Grimalkin? Oh, it absorbs magical power. Okay. Who's there, you demand, into the pool darkness behind the flame? The fire has grown now to a full fireball of clearly magical nature, and in its light, you can see what's holding it. It's a rough wooden frame of sticks, shaped into the form of a woman with arms spread wide. It's a Grimalkin! Like those you saw as an apprentice. Magical constructions which gather magic, the way a funnel gathers rainwater. Fireball dish. Destroy it? Run? Wait and watch? I mean, it is gathering a bunch of fire. Maybe I should not just wait and see how much fire it gathers. Okay, I'll run. Apparently that's not what I wanted. You wait and watch. Misclick, but I'll take it, I guess. A fireball, hot and fierce, shoots forward from the wooden frame towards you, Duck. You hit the floor and the fireball punches over you, not aiming at the door, but instead splashing up the staircase that leads up the tower. The room is dark for a moment. In the pause between fireballs and darkness, you can see a little of the Grimalkin. The frame is built from old, half-rotten wood, beams that were once part of a roof. A single upright forms the body and head. Its two arms are angled outwards to collect starlight. It has clearly been positioned beneath the stars of Hot, Ha'it, Osiris, and Thara, and angled so the resulting fireball is directed at the staircase. A new fireball begins to form between the arms of the Grimalkin. Apparently it has been doing this for, like, decades, just sitting there and doing things. In the light from the Grimalkin, you follow the line of the staircase with your eyes. At the top is a trapdoor, sealed with a rusty old bolt. If the bolt is stiff, it might take some time to coerce it into opening. The fireball spell is completed and splashes across the stones of the staircase. Alright, what are my options here? Can I dop? I mean, I know what the counterspell to Hot is. That's information I have, isn't it? I can Zen, I can Zap. I can Yap, and I can Yaz. Which one is Yaz? Yaz is invisibility. I can Nip if I only had yellow powder. Unfortunately, I don't have enough cocaine to cast speed. I can Wall. I can, in fact, both Dop and Doze. There's a lot of spells here. And I can Dock, which is the counter to Hot. Oh, and it's free. Yeah, I already know the counter to Hot, so I could just cast that. But let's Dop first and see what happens. You move the stars into alignment around you. The hatch at the top of the tower falls open. For a moment, the tower is dark. A third fireball begins to form. Alright, I'm going to cast Dock and see what happens. I've never done a counterspell before. And now we can get information from the Grimalkin rather than destroying it. That's neat. You cast the spell across your potion and it begins to glow and fizz, but strangely, the spell then seems to fizzle out, as does the Grimalkin's fireball. You wait, expecting them to resume, but they do not. It would seem the spell of healing does indeed counter the spell of fire. The Grimalkin is quite still. Once more, you notice the carvings on the wall, forgotten in your battling with the Grimalkin. Let's look at the Grimalkin first. You approach the Grimalkin somewhat warily, but it does seem to have been deactivated. It is a simple enough contraption. The skill in building such a device to channel starlight is not in the materials or construction, but in the simple geometry of the arms. They must be positioned exactly to collect starlight, but of course, they cannot feel and adjust what they're doing. This one must have been constructed by a highly experienced mage. It is nothing but lashed together strips of wood, and appears most casually assembled, but with quite deadly intent. The carvings are beautifully preserved, unlike in all the other towers you've climbed. They cover the walls from floor to roof, telling a story in sequence. The first panels show the construction of a great city on the shores of a lake by a powerful and proud people. Then the city is threatened by a series of avalanches and other disasters, attributed to an underground demon. Several buildings are destroyed. Oh no. You climb a little way up the stairs to pick up the story of the carvings. The destroyed buildings are rebuilt, but a council of wise men and women are gathered to discuss the problem. They scratch their beards and comb their hair and rub their eyes in thought, and finally they set to building a series of great towers scattered around the land. The purpose of the towers is not clear, however, but all seem convinced they will save the city from further disaster. They celebrate with raised arms. Oh my god, the wise men were Grimalkins! The final panels of the carvings show a man in a horned helmet delivering some kind of equipment to the builders of the stone towers. From the symbols on this man's cloak, you realize he is supposed to be one of the archmages of High Zaman. Each tower is fitted with a lantern, and the lanterns are lit. Birds freeze in midair, rivers cease. In the light of the lanterns, clouds stop their scudding across the sky. Below the level of the towers, the land is peaceful and the people are happy. It seems the light will keep them safe. And that is the end of the story. From here, you could go up the tower or back out into the trees. Up! And now it's open. Look at the view. Yep, that happened before. Activate the beacon. Adjust the beam. Alright. Right at the serpent. Because I'm pretty sure that's what I need to do. Now we have 4 beams aiming straight at the serpent. Look at the cylinder? What is a cylinder? You consider the carvings as you regard the light. Oh, what is it these beacons truly do? They do not hold back the clouds or stop the rivers flowing. You have walked through their beams and seen night turn to day and back again. But perhaps the purpose of the towers has changed since they were built. But why? What purpose do they serve? Except, it would seem, to assist you in your journey. A good question. Oh, I didn't touch the blue thing. Hang on. We gotta go back up and touch the blue thing. Oh, okay, so it is activated. Good. You return from the sky. Climb down. So now we'll see whether or not we can go after the Time Serpent. We came up with one backstory, but with no explanation, these are now plot devices. Yeah, pretty much. You step out into the forest once more and return to the shore. You return to the shore of the lake. The pole with the bell marks the edge of the water. The little boat is still here. Black, gloomy clouds roll across the sky, flowing from the east. You push the boat out into the water of the lake and hop aboard. The craft looks well built and freshly oiled. You should make excellent time. You row the boat onwards across the water. Night falls. You should find somewhere safe to sleep, especially after so long rowing with an empty belly. You heave on the oars, gliding onwards. The motion is calm and relaxing, but you seem to move no faster than a crawl, however hard you work. Maybe I go back ashore and sleep there? It seems like a safe enough place to sleep, right? The moon is climbing across the sky. No way to cross the water in the dark. Okay. Laying your pack down on the shore of the lake, you try to stretch out despite the wind. I have enough rations. I can afford them. Nah. No eating. The remainder of the night is kept busy with vivid dreams. Apparently, eating is not actually necessary for life, only for healing. That's nice. From the depths of the ground, a huge fin rises, followed by the dark eyes of an evil, vicious-toothed fish. A hooded woman with a scar down her face looks up from a deck of cards. "It would be better if the crown were dropped into the sea," she tells you firmly. "Or else you should wear it yourself and rule all." And all the while you hear distant laughter from the east. I defeated the air serpent, meaning there are now only 5 serpents remaining. Good job, me. Alright, let's go! You can just make out the tower through the trees, now that you know which way to look. Ah, now we're getting in the boat. We're doing boat things. Let's go boat things. Middle of the lake. Does the boat disappear? Nope. You row the boat onwards across the lake. The air stirs a little, still cold, but fresh. You sing a song from your boyhood as you draw on the oars, a song of fruit trees and warm milk and soft bedding. Between the islands? On the lake? It's just on the lake. Bubbles. Again with the bubbles. Is that the water serpent? You row the boat onwards across the water. As the morning moves on, the wind begins to rise. You lean on the oars, moving slowly forwards across the lake. The water falls strangely calm. Rowing becomes easier, and you cut quickly through the water. You'll be across the lake in no time. You notice a thin stream of bubbles off to the port side. Bubbles. Investigate. Lean over the boat to look. Narrow, dark shadow is hurtling upwards. Lean back into the boat. Sharply, you pull your head back, not wanting it to be skewered by whatever is rising. The sudden movement jerks the boat. You lose your balance. Struggle to catch your balance. Steady myself. What the ever-loving hell is happening here? Pray for aid? That doesn't help at all. I don't have a spell of oil, do I? Also, praying here didn't really help. I can rap? That's not helpful. R-O-K, rock. That's not going to help. Oh, force field. Okay. Oh, I can zob here! Oh, I could zob here. Oh my. It's too bad I don't have the tooth that I am fairly certain is required in order to cast it. I can sap and I can sus. Oh, I can triple S. Let's S's. Talk to serpents. Yes. Holding up the serpent ring, you cast the spell. The serpent hisses loudly in response, angry as it feels itself coming under your will. Fantastic. While the spell lasts, you'll be able to demand information from the serpent. Foolish adventurer, it cries. Your ring will not protect you from my wrath. Ooh, what information do I want? I know what its weakness is. It's oil. But I don't know how to get oil. Oil's not a spell, unfortunately. I can't gack because I got rid of the face mask. I mean, just general purpose, what advice can you give me? Is that good? Maybe. The water serpent writhes and shakes, not wanting to answer your question. But finally it spits back. Pay respect to Nagamante, the torture master, should you meet him. Where are the other serpents? The earth serpent waits in a fissure near the lake, the serpent replies unwillingly. The serpent of water hisses and spits. But this will do you no good, as you will never leave this spot! The spell is worn off. The water serpent is now free of the water and hovers, a massive shape against the dark sky. It stretches open its wide jaws and... try something else? But nothing seems suitable. I don't have any oil on me. Can we triple S it again? Or does that only work the once? Ah, I see. Oh no, these are hard fights. Okay, okay, well that sucks. Wow. Wow, what a fight. Okay. Extremely dangerous. Well, I don't want this to happen. Also, I don't want to destroy my boat. So I'm kind of on rewinding this whole mess. I like investigate. Lean over the boat to look. Keep watching. And then serpent. Alright, but at least this way it didn't break... It didn't break the boat. So that's good. Full HP, I'm fine, maybe. I might be able to also, like, razor my sword or something. We're still going to triple S him. Cast a spell. We know where the Earth Serpent waits, so... that's not helpful, actually. Can you rock the Water Serpent? Real questions. This is maybe useful. Who can I find to help me? Alright. The sorceress Fenestra hides in the forest of Snata. She could defeat us all if she so chose. The serpent spits. I hope she dies before you find her. Hisses and spits. Time to fight! Cast a spell. I don't know. Let's see what my options are. Sand is not oil, my friend. I'm not sure if you know this. We can apparently sap, which maybe is good. We cannot razor, but we might be able to rock? I think rock is not going to work. Pop? I think pop is not going to do much either. I guess if we were going to do hot, we might as well do pop instead. I really wish I could zob here. I could zap. Try all the things, I mean, I guess. Try zobbing anyway. I don't have the thing! I don't have the necessary ingredients. I'm pretty sure I don't have the necessary ingredients. And rewinding is a hassle. Yeah, Zob is almost assuredly the Rock Golem Tooth. So it's a shame that we didn't actually pick that up beforehand. But, oh well. Alright, I guess I'll try throwing an exploding pebble and seeing if that helps. You craft a spell over one of your pebbles, then you toss the pebble into the mouth of the water serpent where it explodes, leaving charred marks on the serpent's outer flesh. But you have not killed it. You'll have to try another approach. Cast another spell! Does zapping help? Zapping might help. Sap, maybe. It seems unlikely. Jump back. That's just going to break my boat. The creature only cackles at your attempt to influence it. It seems the serpent is already so evil and cold-hearted that nothing can make it more so. Alright, let's fight. Oh. My longsword! Was that the good one? Wow. Nope, rewinding that. Yikes. Cast a spell? What? I'm not fighting the thing again? What is going on here? Nip? Zen? Big? All that's here is ZBN. What is with the U's? What uses U's? Nothing uses U's. We can Zen. We can big. And we can nip. Oh. You think it... Oh, yeah, because I'm just in the other time zone, maybe. There we go. Yeah, okay. Fascinating. God, how do I fight this guy without getting wet? Investigate. Can I row away? Not fast enough to escape? That's fine. Alright. Rewind is affected by temporal anomalies? Yeah, absolutely. It's super weird. Alright, we're still going to triple S this idiot. What is your weakness? It is too late for me to prepare. That's absolutely true. What advice can you give me? Because this seems super relevant. Could try rock? I could try rock. I'm actually more inclined to try Foff and then just get into an actual battle with him. But yeah, let's see if rock does anything. Probably not. Simply caught by the breeze from the creature's wings and scattered across the lake surface before my spell can take hold. Alright, let's just Foff. And it'll cost me some stamina, but hopefully it'll give me an advantage in the fight. Oh no, I still want to pop him. Because that seems like it could be good. You jump back. Okay. Once again, your fragile possessions are ruined, including the goblin's precious parchment. Oh, he's down to 4 stamina because of the stuff that I did to him. So definitely defend first, yep. But we lost a lot of stuff because we're in the water, which is unfortunate. The lake will flood with your tears. Okay. The serpent looms up from the water, towering over you. From the water, you'll be swinging desperately for it. You may not be able to injure it at all. The water serpent yawns its wide, dripping jaws and then dives low to try and swallow you whole. You drop back in the water, avoiding the worst of the blow. Even defended, you cannot escape harm. Maybe a few more pebbles would have worked. Maybe. This lake will flood with your tears. Oh, I could have heard it there. You stay down. The tip of the serpent's tail flicks at the surface of the water. Is that something I can hit? Absolutely. You will drown in your own fear. I'm going to defend this correctly. Your blood will turn this lake pink. Can I attack that? Maybe. Yes. Alright. I'll keep that. Fine. The serpent is wide open. You push up in the water and stab, and draw blood in a geyser. The water serpent's eyes begin to gush with fluid, and its skin begins to pucker and empty. A moment later, the dreaded serpent is nothing more than a floating husk. Cool. What is a suitable formation of stars? What am I just casting random spells here for? This is the same thing as before. I guess I want a Zen here? And float over to an island or something? Reaching up to the stars, you create the magic and the medallion begins to glow as you rise gently up into the air. Out of the waves, you can rest a little, as well as move yourself much more quickly around. Weirdly Monkey Island sword fight-esque quality to it. Interesting. You float on across the surface of the lake. Your weight returns, you settle gradually back down to the ground. The sun continues to climb the steep sky. The water is strangely thick and curiously buoyant. It seems to keep you afloat with little effort required, but the same buoyancy makes moving through the water hard work. You have swum within reach of a rocky island. You'll need to go ashore and recover. Well, yes, that was always the plan. The sun is hot now. The island is a pile of rocks as though dumped from a giant's bucket. You head away from the shoreline up the rocky slope of the island. There is something very strange about this place. The air moves with insects, who seem sometimes frozen mid-flight, but at other moments spin through the air. Clouds stop, shift, then stop once more. It is as though the whole island is running on ticking clockwork. The air shines and glows with the overlapping light from the beacons you have converged onto this island. It's as though a battle of elemental forces is being waged in the war itself, in the air itself. You creep a little up on a stony embankment to try and peer at what is ahead. You make out a bowl-shaped depression in the ground, some kind of pit. At its base lies something, a coiled shadow, but you cannot make out what it is without going closer. You return to the path, thoroughly alarmed. What can I cast? Can I triple S again? Nope. I can only sus and sun. I think I already know what is sus here, so I'm not too worried about that. I can Yaz, which doesn't help, because I can't actually cast it. I get Zen. I could Razor my sword, as well as resurrect someone. Oh, interesting. And we could force field. I'm not actually too worried about any of this. Maybe I want a force field. What does force field even do for me during a fight? I've never done it before. Oh, well, whatever. The pit. You crest the stony rise and look down into the pit below, where a coiled serpent lies sleeping in the middle of the intersecting beams of light from the towers. The creature has not yet noticed you. In fact, it seems to be still, the only unmoving thing on this busy, bustling little island. Cast a spell? Now can I triple S? Oh my god, I can cast so many things. And I can triple S. Holding up the serpent ring, you weave the enchantment. The serpent thrashes and screams in furious rage. But this serpent is too feeble to say anything. It moves its jaws emptily, but nothing comes out. You try to approach stealthily, but stumble and slip down the loose mountainside, sending loose rocks flying with each step. But the creature does not look up. Indeed, the creature does not react to your presence at all. It appears quite immobile. Alright, let's end this. You waste no time, and none of your advantage, but draw your longsword and skewer the creature through the neck. Blood pools around its feet. Very slowly, its eyelids open, as though they were pinned by weights. Then it chokes, once, and the light inside its eyes goes dark. Yeah, turn to page 53. Maybe. So, in the course of less than an hour, we have now killed 3 serpents. Maybe 2.5 serpents. I don't know. Something is happening to the island. The first thing you notice is the clouds, as they start to hurry across the sky. The grass begins to shift and move in the light wind. A few loose rocks skitter down the slope. The island is moving once again, and the light from the beacons fades from view, and you feel a great wellness. You have dealt with more than half of the deadly serpents. We could rest here. Nice. 394. Damn, there's a lot of adventure in this adventure. But your quest will not wait. You head back to shore. Oh, okay. I guess I head back to shore. You steel your courage against the long swim and plunge into the water. One nips at your fingers with tiny teeth. Wow, you fall into a steady stroke through the water. After so long walking, it's almost a pleasant change to swim. The afternoon is starting to draw on. Splash them away? You splash at the water. The shoal turns about in a flash and is gone. You swim quickly away before they can return. Ha! Get wrecked, shoal of fish. Where am I going? Where am I going? Is this a cave through the horns? Is this a path through the horns? I think we want to head up to here, if anything. The sun is sinking. Soon it will be dark. This is just middle of the lake, huh? Maybe this will take me to this island. You need to rest. Yep. Between the islands? How do I get onto this island? It is too vast! Just keep swimming. But thinking about it can do no good. For the real, though, how do I get to this island? What if it's too vast? You cannot hope to swim across it all, though stopping at islands might provide you with chances to rest. There are likely to be creatures out in the water. Yeah, okay. The dead of night is still and cold. You stop briefly, holding up your head and catching your breath. Splashing, you accidentally swallow a mouthful of lake water and feel yourself beginning to gag. You spit it out, and a thick leech the size of your thumb goes flying into the water as well. Ugh. Bite it off! You bite me, I bite you! You reach out and take the leech in your fist and try to squeeze it, but it simply slithers out of your palm and onto the back of your hand, where it attaches itself with 1,000 tiny teeth. You raise the leech to your lips and bite, but the crafty slug quickly jumps. A moment later, you feel something constricting in your throat. What? This is the most ridiculous thing I have seen. Cast a spell? Is that going to work? It's not going to work. Pray for aid, I guess? Wow, no. Okay, I'm not going to lose like 8 stamina to this stupid leech. Stab it. Yeah, absolutely. Spit it out. Now swim away. Okay. Near the island. Yes, thank you. Whoa! Been awake all night and are weaker for it. That's true. You lost significant stamina. That's correct. Used some provisions. Not really. Defeated the water serpent and the serpent of time. God, is there a way to do this so that I keep my boat? Probably not, huh? Stupid water serpent. Oh, well. Ashore we go, I guess. You splash through the shallows to the shore. The early morning sun makes the air glow. This island is thickly wooded, but all the trees have died, and the whole forest is gray and desolate. Drawn up on the shore is a little boat. Yo, there's a boat! Rest and recover, I guess? You seat yourself by the lake shore to meditate and recover your strength. The day is likely to be clear, and will be hot once more. Oil? Yeah, that's fair. Alright, let's explore inland. If only we had acquired oil. You walk up the path from the shore to a small clearing in a dead forest. At the center is something that used to be a hut, but now is just 3 rickety walls and part of a roof. Inside, an old woman is... Oh. Well, this is where I get the oil. How much rewinding do I want to do here? Well, let's confirm whether or not I can get oil from her. Inside, an old woman is hunched over a table scattered with vials, broken jars, and plants you don't recognize. She's mixing some kind of bright green paste and is so absorbed in her work, she doesn't notice you. Greetings, wise woman. My apologies for the intrusion. She squints at you, sucking on her few teeth with a wet pop. Eh? What? Who are you? I'm on a quest. Quest? Ha! She replies. Quests are no good. Leaving home will get you killed, you know. I only ever leave my island for ingredients. Ingredients? For my potions, she says, waving her shoulder at a shelf groaning with concoctions and jars. These islands are brimming with herbs and dirt clumps I've never seen before. They probably all have 100 uses. After so long in these cruel wilds, this woman makes for unexpectedly pleasant company. What do your potions do? I can never be sure, she replies with a shrug. I experiment. I push the boundaries of the healing arts. I've created several new recipes that you won't find anywhere else. You must be in great demand. You might think so. I'm misunderstood. She grumbles and grinds her teeth. See, I studied at the fortress, no less. They were so impressed with me that they suggested some independent study. So that's what I've been doing, alone, for 47 years. That's a while. Do you sell these potions? No one ever comes to buy them, she says. But maybe you could. I'm always happy to let someone else try a new potion of mine. Helps iron out the kinks. Sounds risky. She scoffs. Quests are risky too. She cocks her head. But aren't you curious? Yeah, let me try something on you. A pick-me-up strong enough to get you through the lake, even up the mountains. What do you say? Let's take a look around. Seems fair. You look around the hut with curiosity. There's no furniture besides the large work table and a pile of rags she might use as a bed. Scraps of parchment and food litter the floor along with plant stalks and bundles of herbs. With one wall gone, it's completely exposed to the elements, and a layer of mold covers everything. The only thing that seems looked after is her shelf stacked with jars and exotic plants. The woman sees your attention and attempts a smile. The table is full of odd plants, animal parts, and broken equipment. The bright green concoction she was working on sits in the center, surrounded by glass vials and crushed herbs. The healer nods at your interest. I'm willing to experiment with anything. That's why my recipes are so unique. I see. Well, I'm willing to be a test subject. That's fine. What would you test? She waves the bowl of green substance around excitedly. It's a very powerful healing potion, she says. You won't find this in some market, oh no! I'm doing experiments that are so experimental even I don't know what I've put in. But there's some allscap, flattened goblin hair, and a bit of unicorn meat. But that's mostly for flavor. What else do you use in your potions? Ah, yes, she says, anything I can get my hands on. You never know what effects they may have. Others might be content with knowing what a potion will do in advance. But how are we supposed to advance like that? Fascinating. Perhaps I have something you could use. She shrugs and you open up your pack. She claws through it like a rat. Not much in there. You need to pick things up more often. I pick up everything I see. Ah, I see she has played Skyrim. Maybe those purple leaves would be useful, you say, pointing to a pile on the workbench. She smacks her forehead. You know, I completely forgot to add those. Or did I forget to not add them? I distinctly recall one of those two being important. Before you have a chance to say anything, she tosses a few into the mixture. Better safe than sorry, that's the herbalist's creed. She wipes her hands on the already filthy sack she's wearing. Now that we've got that sorted out, how about a taste? She holds the concoction inches away from your face. It smells vile. Absolutely, I'll drink it. Did I lose? I lost a ton of stamina there. Okay. The potion slinks down your throat. Then you immediately fall unconscious and begin to dream. Your vision is suddenly overtaken by a strange sight. Once again, all you see is the endless curling mountain path. The vision fades. The mid-afternoon heat fills the valley. You open your eyes to see the healer standing over you. She admits that adding the purple leaves wasn't a good idea. She assures you that you're not dead, just nearly. But look on the bright side, she says as you sit up. I've discovered a powerful new poison. I'm going to need to find more of those leaves. Don't touch anything while I'm gone. With that, she picks up a ratty sack and disappears into the woods. Quaff a random potion? Absolutely. You grab a potion off the shelf, this time a thin pink one. You weigh the options carefully and decide to risk a drink. Excuse me? Your legs begin twitching and wobbling violently. What's my fate is the scariest question this game can ask. Every step is a frenzy of bending knees and feet moving in random directions. You spend a few minutes in the nearby forest bashing into trees and kicking underbrush before you gain control of your legs again. Wow. Well, this was miserable. Let's not do any of that, actually. Alright, we're gonna look inside. We're gonna approach. I'm on a quest! What is your name? She screws up her face. You know, that's an excellent question. I see. What do you do here? Experiment, yep. That sounds most interesting. Do you sell these potions? What kinks? Don't know. Shall we find out? But aren't you curious? Yeah, let me try something on you. Must you? Goblin hair? What? No, I never said that. Why would I put goblin hair in a healing potion? That's what you said. Goblin hair would be all wrong. It's a cure for baldness. Now, I distinctly remember telling you that the potion has allscap, catfish whiskers, and levitated sand for the color. So drink! Well, without the purple things, maybe I can drink it and it'll be good? Nope. Irrelevant. What? Apparently it's just completely random each time? Super weird. Try that again? Is there a beneficial outcome here? Can I make this be good for me? Oh. I'm in at the wrong time. Things are different now. It looks like it's random. You head away from the shoreline into the trees. In the center of the forest, on a raised hill, you find a drawn rectangle on the ground that fizzles with a foul color and a tremendous stench. Look at it. Whatever has infected this place, it has bonded itself tightly to the rocks like a curse. Something terrible must have exploded here, though it's hard to say how long ago. Touch the paste. Maybe don't touch the paste? I think I'm still in experimentation mode. Let's have things happen, whether or not they're good. You touch the paste, and it stains your fingertip a vivid foul yellow color. You find you cannot wipe it off. Oh! You are more than grateful to leave this fetid area. There is nothing else here to be seen. You head back to the shore. But on your way back... touch it. Okay. Why not? Now my fingers are yellow. No big deal. On your way back through the long grass, you trip over something protruding from the ground. It's a small, half-buried shrine that you passed right by without noticing. On your way up the slope of the hill. Well, okay. I like shrines. I'll look at shrines. You kneel to examine the tiny carved totem. It is barely a foot tall and sculpted in a curious half-deformed human shape. At least half of its length is sunk into the ground, or else it is so old the ground has grown up over it. There is a little writing near its base, mostly obscured. Okay, definitely read the instructions on the shrine before just randomly praying at the shrine. You clear away a little of the mud around the base of the idol to reveal a few characters. Y something something AN. The figure's face has been largely dissolved by rain and wind. Its hands are held out, but they are empty. We'll make an offering. The god of the gods? Whoa. You bend on one knee by the shrine, intrigued, and ready to make an offering to the strange god, whoever he may be. As you sit, a voice enters your head that you have not heard before. Do you make a gift to the god of the gods? Probably. But, like, this is the kind of question that seems like it's going to be asked before just taking my soul. Like, oh, good. Thank you. Yoink. Like, I don't want to be a gift, but tell me more about what gifts are. Offer the holy water. Offer a gold piece. Nothing happens. You take it back. Offer food? Clearly, you have nothing worth offering to this idol. You stand once more. Whoops. I'm going to rewind and not lose my 10 GP holy water. Wait, what? What happened to the shrine? I need to... Oh, interesting. I guess I can, like, decide when to do it based on whether or not the hut's visible? Well, that's not gonna... Fascinating. Yep. Look at the ground. Let's just turn back. Look at the shrine. Clear away the mud. Make an offering? I do. Maybe I don't. Clearly, you have nothing. What gift do you wish? But the voice says nothing more, and the voice from the idol falls silent. Do you refuse to give a gift to the god of the gods? Bad news. Pray? What is happening here? Nope, we're gonna rewind again. Because I wanna roll more dice on this lady and her potions. Skirt around it? Oh. Wait, there's a different thing. You skirt around it, but find nothing of interest beyond a wood stack used, no doubt used for a fire. You poke around in the wood stack, but find nothing except a few dead beetles. Okay, so that doesn't matter. I'm on a quest! What is your name? Do you sell these potions? What kinks? I will test your potion for you. Let's just drink it. Nope. I kick things again. Can I really not do better than kick things? Look inside. Approach. I'm on a quest. Doing the later chapters with no spellbook is frustrating. Oh, for sure. If you don't have any kind of, like, internalized sense of what spells do, yeah, that seems kind of awful. Does it stop you from casting spells? Or does it just, like, you just don't have information about the spells? I can share my spell spreadsheet with you if you want, Inkling. What is your name? Do you sell? What kinks? I'll test your potion for you. Leave quickly. It doesn't let you learn new ones. Oh, interesting. So you can't cast new ones? That sucks. No, this seems to be pretty consistent. But if she puts the purple stuff in, then it's a poison. Purr is a good one, too. As far as hidden spells go, I do like that one. You found a spell and the game was like, neat. Too bad you don't have a spell book to write it down in. Aw, disappointing. I'll bet you'd still be able to cast it, though, even though you don't have a way to write it down. Let me try this one more time and see what else we can do. Because apparently the conversation just ends once I drink. So maybe I can pursue a couple of other things before we get to that point. That sounds most interesting. What kinks? What's in it? Goblin hair? So you use all sorts of ingredients. What are these beetles for? You ask, pointing to a jar of dried beetles near her elbow. My dear, what aren't beetles for? You can't have a decent potion without at least a few beetles. You should add more to your new potion, then. She shrugs. It's mostly beetles as is, to be honest, but more couldn't hurt. She grinds a few in. Well, now that there's beetles in it, I'm definitely going to drink it. The potion slides down your throat. Oh, that time it was actually healing. Soon enough, you feel a bit better, though you now have the urge to eat some dead leaves. Maybe don't eat some leaves. You decide to wait it out, and eventually the feeling passes. You are still a little curious about how they taste. Behind you, the healer seems surprised you're still alive, but is trying to hide it. See? The most experimental, powerful potions you'll ever find! She picks up a sack and starts walking towards the forest. Now I need to go crush more beetles. You've depleted my stock. Don't touch anything while I'm gone. With that, she disappears into the woods. Do I want to steal something from her? It seems very dangerous. I'm going to return to the shore. You leave the hut, rather hoping you will not encounter the healer again. Well, that was kind of beneficial, I guess. And then this is the only island we haven't visited yet, but we can definitely steal her boat. Ah, she took the boat. A pole with a bell seems to have appeared by the shoreline, and someone must have taken the boat because it's gone. Return inland. Timing happened. This shrine. I don't like this shrine. Back to the shore. The pole with the bell seems to have vanished. In its place has appeared a boat, pulled up to shore with oars stowed. A flock of winged Mauritians passes overhead, calling to each other in guttural voices and laughing. Let's push the boat out. Alright, so we're going to this island now, which I think was from here. So we got to go around this way. Excuse me? You row the boat onwards across the water. Mid-afternoon haze makes the air sticky. You row onwards. A short distance ahead, another commotion in the water appears, but this one is unavoidable. Leaping up from the water, a small school of flying fish are springing into the air and flying towards you. Boy, I didn't know flying fish had these kinds of teeth. That's something. Maybe I could just zap them. Maybe I'll just fight them. You draw your sword. Fighting an entire shoal of fish with a sword will be difficult, but you have no choice but to try. Yah! Oh, mistakes. The fish explode from the water in a fountain of teeth and fins and spray. You wield your sword in an arc, hoping to slice through several of the creatures in one stroke. But the flying fish, for all their splayed fins, are clearly cautious. They dive deep into the water, fins disappearing in a fountain of bubbles. The shoal winds its way back, then turns to face you. What does that mean? Ah, big attacks, I see. Oh, ow. No tell. Small attack. Nice. There is no purchase in the water, so you cannot put any weight behind your sword stroke other than what you have in your arms. Still, you swing, chopping at the monstrous school. It's like trying to fight water. The blade parts the shoal, and only a few fish fall to the water. Dead fish float away across the lake's surface. No tell. Big attack, huh? The fish bubble away out of view for a moment. Is that a defend? That is a defend. Descends under the water. Is that a defend? That is a defend. Dart and flicker in the water, clearly in an agitated state now. Rekka! There's a lot of stamina lost. Let's try that again. So they started off with a defend last time. Ah, I see that is not consistent. Unfortunate. No tell. No tell could be anything. The highest we've seen from no tell so far is 6.1. Or is 6, rather. Turns to face you was an attack. Oh, a big attack. Yikes. Well, this is poor. No tell. Small attack. Bubble away out of view for a moment is defense. Descends under the water is defense. No tell. A defense, apparently. Just visible, darting this way and that under the lake's surface. I haven't seen this one before. Defense, apparently. Clearly in an agitated state now. You stare at an army of bristling teeth and widespread fins. Huge! Disappear a moment later. That's probably a defense. Gone, but surely not for long. Probably a defense? Several fish are now floating on the water's surface. One blank eye staring up, the other down. Is that a tell? Or is that their state? I think that's their state. Try again. Wow. I really should just defend first thing, huh? Because I have no idea what's going on. That's a defend. That's a defend. Turns and descends under the water. Turns to face you as a big attack. I just barely beat it. Wow. Just visible is a defend. This apparently was a big attack. Yeah, I wouldn't have beat it. I don't know what's going on here. Let's just attack him. 5 stamina? How do I feel about that? Not very good. Oh, good. We both mutually defended. Well done. Still no tell. No tell is apparently a small attack there. Bubble out of the way is a defense. Descends under the water is a defense. It's like trying to fight water. No tell. That could be a defense. That could be an attack. I'm just going to defend. Just visible is a defense. No tell. Let's try an attack here. Hey! Feeling good about that. Clearly in an agitated state now. That is an attack. I'm going to defend here. I could have beat him. No tell. I'm going to attack here. 3 stamina lost? Alright. That's good enough. I'll continue from here. You pant with relief, exhausted from the encounter. Collect a few fish. Absolutely. You collect a few of the raw fish from nearby in the water. If you can find a fire to cook them, they should be most delicious. You row the boat onwards across the water. The sun is beginning to lower and the air begins to cool. You pull on the oars, sliding onwards through the water. You've never rowed so far or for so long. In the fields of Chawberry, where you grew up, there was no open water beyond a few ponds. What the heck does this mean? Nothing, then, to douse the flames that will come when the goblins turn southwards, running from the Archmage and his army. Oh, I see. I can fix it! Wow, I have time to just reflect, huh? Apparently, think about what's coming is a action command. Cool. Only the restoring of the crown can prevent it. The crown is all that has held back the beasts for all this time. Perhaps one day it will be time to load all Analand's people onto boats and sail southwards for quieter shores. You row onwards, lost in sorry thoughts. You've come within reach of the North Shore. I want to get onto this island, though. Every pull on the oars is hard. Near the island? Island. Go ashore! You row the boat onwards across the water, and then pull it up onto the shore. The sun lowers toward the horizon. Soon it will be dark. The island is rocky and barren. In the center is a rise of land from which a dead tree stump protrudes. Your rowboat bobs in the nearby water. Explore inland? You circle the shoreline of the island to the north as you climb your way up the rising stones. The surfaces are slippery with thick moss and vegetation. Is it edible moss? Or is it inedible moss? Suddenly, your easy pace is interrupted by a cry from somewhere inland. What's going on? You stop to listen. It is a human voice. You make out two words. Stay away! Excuse me? You make no more movement, not wanting to give away your presence. Stay away! Cries the voice. Analander, stay back! Don't come closer! Oh, that's me. I'm the Analander. You hesitate on the rocks. Surely this is a trap. Well? I mean, let's make bad decisions and see if they pay off? Since results are not permanent? The voice's whimpering and dire cries continue. You climb further around the island, a little higher at every step, until you reach the island's peak. But as you approach, you realize it is the lip of some kind of pit. Absolutely cast a spell. Can I suss it out? The time has come for suss. Actually, the time has come for telepathy. Tell me what's going on. You bind the constellations into your design around you, pulling on the cloth skullcap as you do so. Reaching out with your mind, you detect the faintest sense of a nearby creature. The voice is not an illusion, nor a mimicking creature, but a true human intelligence. But it is very faint now, and must be close to the point of sleep, or of death. You reach out with your mind to reassure the creature, but the presence of your thoughts seems only to make its pleas more panic-stricken. Stay away, it calls. Please, stay back. You clamber upwards. The voice does not stop its constant warning. Between sobs, it calls, Analander, stay back! Come no closer. Please, stay away! The stone pit. What is this trap? Sightmaster? You clamber up and over the edge of the stony pit. There is a single bare tree at the pit's heart, but tied to the tree, head slumped forward, is a Sightmaster. His eyes are shut, but still he calls out, Stay away! Stay away! What is the danger, you call, from the edge of the clearing, not quite daring to approach. The Sightmaster sobs in reply, his eyes still firmly shut. Please, just stay away! Leave! Leave me! Tell me more so I may defend myself, you demand. The Sightmaster stops short in his crying and tilts his head. Is that you? He breathes. Analander, is that you? You recognize his voice, of course. This is none other than the Sergeant-at-Arms from Analand, who spied the path ahead for you when you crossed the wall. He has none of his magnificent strength about him now. Who I am is not important. Annalander, I know your voice, the Sightmaster replies weakly. I tried to shout. I hoped you would turn back if you heard me. What is the danger? You're so useless! The Sightmaster's body racks with a sudden pain. Annalander, how I long to look upon your face. It would be of great comfort to me. What happened to you? The Sightmaster shakes his head pitifully. His eyes, you notice, are still firmly closed. The worst thing that can be done to such as I, he murmurs. I'm going to cut your bonds. Huh. The Sightmaster nods. Do so, but do so quickly, and then run. I have kept my eyes shut for 7 days. You cannot imagine the pain of it. I cannot keep them closed for much longer. Ah. Well, that's fascinating. You perhaps know of the red eyes of Kare, he answers. If I open these lids, what is behind them will burn everything they see. His voice turns to darkness. But I am a sight master, he continues. You hurry over to the man and slice through the bonds that hold his arms against the tree. The Archmage knew you would come this way. He knew you would search the islands on your journey. He means to kill you! Quickly, you tear a strip of cloth from his cloak and bind it around his eyes, but the Sightmaster shakes his head. My eyes carry the power of the under-earth, he insists. A mere strip of cloth will do nothing. Run, Annalander, run! Remember, I can see far. His freed hands are lifting to rub his face. You help the weakened figure to his feet. Hard to believe this is the same creature who all but bested you with his staff back in the training grounds. He's now nothing but a shadow. He squeezes your arm, perhaps thinking of similar times. Then he grips the tree to support himself. Go now, he hisses. Thank you for all that you gave me in my training, you tell him. Firmly. You clasp his shoulder once, then turn and scramble away down the stony gully. The Sightmaster's gasping breath echoes after you. You head back to the shore. What the hell? Am I just dead? How am I not just dead? So if he opens his eyes, then everything he sees burns. I guess. We do, in fact, know about the red eyes of Kare. But, we never really figured out what was their deal. Which is a shame. We didn't spend that much time around them. We could have maybe engaged more of them in conversation back in, the city port of traps. You return to the shore of the lake. The coracle is bobbing in the shadows. The Sightmaster's desperate whimpering is carried to you for just a moment on the breeze. You push the boat out and begin sculling. You row the boat onwards across the water. The sun is almost set, and the sky has turned a deep purple. From the island at your back, there is a sudden violent scream. You look up to see a flash of flame rising to the sky. It would seem the Sightmaster chose to look down when he opened his eyes. You heave on the oars, gliding forwards. I guess we can't go back. You can never go back. We need a place to sleep, so I guess we just go to shore here. Another night begins. You should try to find a place to sleep, especially after so much sculling on an empty stomach. Go to shore. Get out of the boat. Leave the shore. How do I find a place to sleep? I just want to sleep. Oh, I guess we could sleep in the hut. Just to the south is a deep fissure in the land. I could just rest here. That's probably fine. Before you manage to make yourself comfortable... Oh, this is the Earth Serpent. I don't know what the Earth Serpent's weakness is. Up we get. You stand to leave, and your foot dislodges a chunk of rock, which rolls away towards the fissure. But then abruptly it stops, reverses direction, and begins to roll towards you. Dodge left. You dodge left, and the rock shoots past you, impacting into dust against an overhang. The rumbling is growing louder. An even bigger explosion is coming. Cast a spell? Magic! Can we triple S it? We cannot. I can defend myself against magic. I can cause sleepiness. I can force field? Oh, I can fog. That doesn't matter. We're outside. I can blow air at things? Do I think air is going to work? Force field? I like force field. You cast the spell, forming a shimmering force field around your body. You should be protected from all but the most serious injury now. Just in time. The rock surface explodes and you are showered with falling stones. They bounce harmlessly off your full force field, but you are knocked off your feet all the same. The ground opens up directly where you fall, forming the shape of a freshly dug grave. Oof. You are at the bottom of a deep pit. Dust and small stones are still raining over the lip. With a pop, your force field shimmers out of existence. Look up. You are about 9 feet below the rim of the pit. You may be able to jump and grab the edge, but it is unlikely. The earth below is creaking and hissing with steam. Is that steam, or is that dragon? The walls of the pit are smooth, not carved, as though this pit had been drilled. There is no way to climb out. Suddenly, a rocky protrusion breaks through the pit floor. It glows red. It is boiling hot! Cast a spell? Is it time for more spells? Look at things? I guess let's look at things and see if I just die. The spike of rock sticks up from the floor. It glows a deep and boiling red, and steam rises from its sides where it touches the cold night air. As you consider your options, you feel something bite at your ankle. Time for another force field? It's going to cost a lot of stamina. Oh, we can Zen. You cast the enchantment, and the medallion begins to glow as you rise gently up into the air. Man, these spells are so strong. You float up out of the pit, which fills with burning hot rocks and lava just as you escape. Something bite at my ankle. What was biting at my ankle? You are out of the pit, but the danger is by no means past. Cracks are radiating across the ground. One opens between your feet. You wait. Climb out? Ooh, apparently don't wait. Okay. I thought I was still floating. Alright, jump clear. You jump clear just in time to avoid being swallowed. Turning, you spot a large boulder on top of the rise where you pause to rest, teetering. Dodge right this time. You prepare to dodge, but something is holding your leg. A small green snake has wrapped itself around your ankle and is attempting to bite. Is that the Earth Serpent? Run it through. That looks like the Earth Serpent. The skin blisters and breaks in a huge winged serpent made of crystals and rock coils up. Crystals and rock coils up. Ah, yeah, okay. Must be the Earth Serpent itself. Throw something at it! No, we cast triple S. It's a Pokemon. Where's the S's? S, 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 S! What is your weakness? We do need this information. We don't have it. The serpent throbs and glows, struggling against the force of the magic. I am never weak, so long as I am in contact with the ground. Oh. So we need to float him. Can we zen him? Where are the other serpents? I see. Cast a spell. Grab the serpent. Really? I can once again Zob, except I can't because I don't have the thing. I can Dop and Doze? Dud. Illusion of Treasure. Nope. Oh, that's a new one. Sap and Sus and Sun. Nip and Niff. Neither of which are helpful. Oh, we could try, yeah, I could try Creating Wind. Man, the Gale Horn is super strong. Looking to the constellations overhead, you craft the spell, raising the Gale Horn and blowing a shrill note. Man, Gale Horn. A powerful wind is summoned, striking the wings of the snake and lifting it up into the air. The serpent roars and hisses, but once off the ground, everything changes. The earth settles, and the serpent itself shrinks once more to the size of a small snake. Strangle it! Easy peasy! Yeah, right? Having wings was asking for trouble. You catch the creature's throat in one fist and throttle the life from it. It rattles, gasps, and then hangs limp from your fist like old rope. The earth below is still. You have now defeated 5 of the 7 serpents. Lucky me. Your weight returns and you settle gradually back down to the ground. The rocks around are smooth and unbroken. The whole thing might have been a dream, but for the piles of stone dust that cover the ground. I'll take stone dust. That's good. You gather up the stone dust into your pack. Time to resume your journey. Only 2 more serpents remain at large. Tell me more about clues. So we know about Nagamante, and nothing else is updated. We know that, oh, stuff is updated because they're no longer relevant. Okay, okay. So we know that, we only know about the fire serpent. We know there's another serpent, but we don't know what it is. Maybe it's a sun serpent or something? Water, earth, air, moon, time. Water, earth, air, moon, and time, 5, are the ones that we've killed so far. Fire is following us, 6. But we don't know what the 7th serpent is. Sun serpent makes some amount of sense. I'm the serpent. Well, we know that the fire serpent is following us, right? So it'll just attack at some point? Well, I got what I wanted from this area. This is where we were expecting the attack, so that's good. Waiting to wake up to a fireball? Yeah, that sounds dangerous. I don't know where our next step is, though. Presumably there's somebody else we can ask for information. Oh, in the Forest of Snata was a witch that we could potentially ask for information. So let's head towards the tower, teleport over to here, and try and get over to this area. Because I think that might be it. The stars are starting to fade. Well, we could just rest somewhere, right? Or not, I guess. I didn't want to wake up all... I wanted to sleep. Apparently, I can't sleep. Sleeping not allowed. With the time serpent dead, I could rearrange the beacons too? Yes, I could. None of them feel particularly important at the moment, though. Other than making them not around the forest, because it needs to be the forest and not the swamp. Also, pray for healing. Get the... Because we can just get value out of praying. We don't need to sleep or eat, we can just pray. Adjust. Do I care about any of this now? Not appreciably. Let's shine on the city. It seems like I'll be able to zob near any serpent. So maybe it's worth it to go buy the thing? For whenever the next serpent attacks me and I don't know its weakness? What? What ruins? It's supposed to not be ruins. There we go. This is what I wanted. I can't visit the, Return to the road? Why? What happened to visiting the city? Enter the city. I guess not. No chance, huh? Okay, well, that sucks. Apparently we will never be able to zob. Disappointing. There is nothing here that seems like it's particularly important. I don't think there's anything we need to shine on, so I'll just not. I guess potentially having this be available so we could buy things at the shops is useful. But also we're going to the forest. This needs to move first, though. So it's not shining onto the swamp. And then there's this stuff, right? I like that you can change the name of the region using the light beam. That's pretty cool. There's certainly the question of, like, what's over here. We never did explore that. But it's also not a super high priority right now. Let's see. Is there anything else that we feel like we need to change specifically? Anywhere else that we need to visit besides the Forest of Sonata to try and get more information? Or any beams that we want to alter? Man, the lighting and the focus changing as the beams sort of shift and alter around me is really disconcerting, actually. But I think that's good. We do have some things that we could turn into rations. So if I ever find another fireplace, or want to seek out a fireplace in order to turn things into rations, that is available to me. Cast a spell? Yeah. We want a Zen before we try and go across the lake. We're leaving. You float without incident across the surface of the pool. Your weight returns, and you settle gradually back down to the ground. The water of the pool laps gently at the dirt shore. Okay, so, I've prayed recently, but I think what I'm going to do is eat one of these foods. Since that gives me a little bit more stamina, and also makes it easier once the day is over. At some point, like, eating, right? So I think we want to make it up to here. But I guess there's, like, other places we could definitely explore in the forest. There's a lot of places in the forest we haven't been. So, but I think this is my first choice. Let's make a schmoove. Let's head up this way. You walk on between the trees. Night falls. You need to rest. You pause suddenly. A heavy, dark shadow lies across the path. A rock, perhaps? Or a gap in the ground? Or a tail? Is it sus? How sus is it? Also, it's a shadow. We could just light it up. You weave the spell, and the sun jewel in your pack begins to give off a brilliant, blinding light. The light floods the clearing, allowing you to make out the shadowy form in front of you. It's a tree trunk, lying across the path. You sigh a deep sigh of relief. You can rest here, that's fine. Placing your back against the tree trunk, you rest and try to close your eyes. Putting down your pack by the roots of a tree, you try to rest despite the strange noises that float across the landscape. You close your eyes and let your tiredness overtake you. You are protected here, and your rest is unbroken by dreams. Convenient. Climb trunk for a view? Always get views. Oh, wait a minute. A soft plop echoes from the tree trunk. Dangerous. You clamber up onto the trunk and look off into the distance of the trees. To the east, the mountains rise tall and cold, and to the south, you see the forest pool. A soft plop echoes from the tree trunk. Excuse me? You leave your pack on the tree trunk and move carefully along its length, eyes peeled for what was making the noise. Suddenly, of its own accord, your pack topples from the trunk and onto the ground. It's an invisible Snatacat. Yep, Snatacat! You draw your longsword, but suddenly there's blood running down your arm. Long gashes like claws have appeared, and you almost drop your blade. Spin with sword outstretched, slash and cut? I don't know. You slash down into the grass and hit something. Blood seems to spring onto the blade, and there is a terrible animal scream. You slash down again, and the blow makes the creature scream. For just a moment, it materializes in front of you. A furry beast, about the size of a large dog, with a snub snout and razor-sharp teeth. Snouth? A snub snout and razor-sharp teeth. They really do like alliteration in this game. Snarf, snarf. Yes, of course. It is a snarf. Thank you, Icarus. It is watching me intently. Charge it? Snatacat teeth are valuable, apparently. Someone had to do it? Well, I'm glad it was you. Stay back, you shout, but the creature clearly does not understand your language. It growls and yaps in return. Okay. You rush forwards. The creature closes its eyes, abruptly vanishing from your sight. Then, presumably, it steps sideways, avoiding your blow and slashing painfully at your leg. You use the moment to collect your pack and slip away into the trees. The creature allows you to leave. Ah. Well, that was an unfortunate experience. There's a lot of magic tied to eyes in this game. Like, there's the red eyes who basically have, like, Cyclops powers. Lasers coming from their eyes, and they can only control them by keeping their eyes closed. And then there's these things that are like, as long as they can't see, they're invisible. Like, that's... It's all super specific, too. Eyes, man. Oh, there's a hut over here. That's interesting. You follow what might be a path and might be an old river through the trees of the forest. The light from your sun jewel pulses twice and fades. Yeah, it's not super relevant right now. It's midday. The air stirs a little, still cold, but fresh. The path passes by a heavy thicket of tangled branches. Absolutely investigate. It might be what's-her-face. The dense bushes curl up around themselves in a tangle. Peering between the branches, you can make out something covered over. Cut it away. You begin to slice at the branches, but the wood is thick and gnarled. You might be able to cut through, but it would risk hurting the blade. From deep inside the bush, a bird erupts. You jump back smartly, and it flaps upwards into the sky. Well, my Analan sword is already minus something. We might as well cut branches with that instead. You draw your old sword and carve through the branches. The foliage falls away to reveal first a glassless window, and then the top corner of a door. It seems the branches are growing in front of and out of an ancient hut. We'll climb through the window. Or not. You push away a few remaining branches and attempt to haul your way up into the window, but it seems there is thick foliage inside as well, and you cannot force your way in. Cut free the door. You blunt the old sword edge. How bad off is this door? Is this weapon now? -4. It's the worst. This poor sword. Open the door? You heave on the door, hauling it open. Ancient dust spills out into the forest air, and a million crawling things scuttle from holes in the ancient wood. Smell the air? The air from inside the hut is old and stale, but does not stink of death, decay, or animal. Oh, okay. Well, let's go into the hut. You push your way inside the ancient overgrown hut. There are patches of the yellow moss you saw before growing on the back of the hut. Oh, I love that moss. Chew it. You munch on the moss and feel much better. All right, what's in here? Huh. In the thin sunlight through the windows of the hut, you can make out writing on the far wall. This is the house Elise built, and in its doorway, blood was spilt. But that blood has dried and gone, and poor Elise is still a lawn. This isn't as bad as Child of Light, but I still have questions. Looking at the doorway, you see the dark shadow of a bloodstain, wiped carefully around the sill like a ward against an evil spirit. Not that such magic works, of course. The only true magic comes from the stars. At least that's what they told you. Oh, look at scratches. There are a few more things scratched into the wood. You look at the other scratched marks. They're hard to comprehend precisely. One appears to depict a person in a circular bubble, floating harmlessly above a raging tornado or a whirlpool. Another shows a fiery ball, perhaps the sun, perhaps not, being drenched by a fist squeezing what looks like a handful of berries. Ah, we use water against the sun serpent. Ooh. You looking into the dim corners of the hut, you uncover an old vial of water. As you lift it to the light, it gives off a very faint shine. In your mind, you feel the gorilla's gentle voice. The water in this vial is blessed to the god Gred. I'll keep it. You place the vial of holy water into your pack. A lucky find. Let's cast a spell. I like spells. We can suss, and that's about it. Sap doesn't seem helpful. Sun might be helpful. We can dock, and we can farsight. Let's see if sun is helpful. Nope. No results. Things are brighter. Nothing has changed. Alright, well, I guess we've gotten what we're going to out of this. You slip through the branches until you're outside the hut once more. I might be able to shine some light on this and change things. So that's a thing to consider after we've explored up here. Nothing more to be done here. You leave the hut behind. Hello? Things flutter in the trees all around. The light from your sun jewel pulses twice and fades. Bong bong! As the sun climbs towards its zenith, the winds pick up. You emerge from the trees into a clearing by a low hill. This is an exposed place. It would be unwise to stay long. Okay, let's search. You begin to make your way around the clearing, but quickly stop in surprise. As you pass the southeast of the hillock, you come across an incongruous wooden doorway set into the curvature of the hill. You step over to the doorway to examine it more closely. The door. The door is made of heavy wood, carved with various runes and symbols, in a language you do not know. We can be polite. You knock on the door. There is no reply. Open it. You try the door. It is not locked. A dark passageway is revealed beyond. Alright, well, who lives here? Hopefully this is the witch's area, right? The door opens through a short, dark hallway and descends into the hill. Is this a tomb? You begin to see a glowing light ahead and hear a voice muttering low, angry curses. Still time to turn back? No way. You keep moving forwards, and the passage quickly opens out. You enter a small room lit by a single candle on a wooden table. Seated at the table is a spindly creature whose attention is focused on a glass orb set on a plinth. Hello! You open your mouth to announce yourself, but the silence is broken by a squeaky voice. Yes, all right. Don't stammer like a half-orc. I'm busy. Sit down. A thin finger gestures towards a chair in the corner. Well, I mean, if you say so. You sit down as instructed. After a few minutes, the creature leans back from her orb and looks up at you. So, a visitor. A human, too. Greetings. Greetings to you, indeed. As the light from the glass orb fades a little, you see the speaker is a woman, some kind of elf, though she appears somewhat disfigured. Her eyes are too large, and they seem to glow softly of their own accord, accounting for a good portion of the light down here. Don't be alarmed by my appearance, she says softly. My illness is not contagious. I'm glad to hear it. Her large eyes narrow. A cold reply. Now, human, as my time is more precious than yours, I will lose my patience with you. I am Fenestra. What in Gred's name are you doing in this miserable forest? I'm looking for 7 serpents. Do you know of them? She stiffens. I do indeed, she says. Her tone is wary. What, pray, is your interest? I intend to destroy them. She nods. Many have tried, but if you wish to try as well, that is good. Gred knows the serpents are no friends of mine. Her voice shakes as she speaks. Her eyes flick back down to her orb. And is that all? She asks. I'm going to Lake Ilklala, you tell her, cautious not to reveal your true purpose to the stranger. She nods. It can be hard to cross the lake, she says. Oh, hello? Because she's Fenestra. Good. If you fought her, would I be defenestrating? I mean, there's not a lot of windows around here, so maybe not. I was really hoping to get information about the serpents from her, but, maybe not. There is only one ferryman, and he is old now, old and dead. The orb on her table swirls with color ever more violently. Fenestra sits up sharply. You must go, she declares. I have work that must be attended to. What can you tell me of counterspells, you ask? Fenestra smiles. Almost casually, she tosses a handful of sand at your feet. She regards you for a moment. Which spell is this? I know what spell this is. Which spell requires sand as the reagent? Create quicksand. It's mud. What is the counterspell for mud? Is that Zen? Do I know this? I don't know. Do I know that Zen is a counterspell for anything? counters zap. Zen counters zap? Was it fix? It might have been fix. But I can't cast fix because I don't have the staff oakling. Staff. The oak sapling. Wow. I know fix counters something, but I don't remember what. Broke. Unfortunately, not true. If I look at my spells... Yep, fix... Oh no, fix is not even on offer. So I couldn't cast fix even if I wanted to. I could cast Gak, but we know that fear is countered by sus, right? So Gak and sus are the two counter spells there. It's mud. We can't even cast mud here. Huh. You jump to one side, but you're not fast enough. I'm rewinding this for sure, but we're going to play this out. Fenestra is casting an enchantment on you. The sand at your boots begins to swirl in a narrow circle, growing faster and faster. You feel a terrible force sucking you downwards into the ground. Fenestra cackles suddenly with glee. Pray for aid, I guess? That doesn't seem like it did much. Fenestra peers at you contemptuously. Are you even going to try and protect yourself? It's the same spells? No, it's different now. We have Fog and Foff. We have no B spells. Wow. We have no N spells. What? Use for sun, no E, and fog. None of these seem like they would be an appropriate counterspell for mud. I still think it's fix, but I don't know for sure. But the spells that I have on offer are not actually helpful. Like, none of these spells are helpful. Sun and Sus don't help here. N and B are useless. And all we have is Fog and Foff? Like, do we think Fog is the counterspell for Mud? Apparently not. What's my face? Really? Oh, it's Force Field. Well. Through the mist, Fenestra waves as you disappear into the floor. Mud reaches your mouth and fills it. Well, apparently it's Force Field, so I guess we know now. Perhaps moved to mercy by the gorilla, the witch undoes the spell and, grabbing you by the hair, hauls you out before the floor turns back to rock once more. I thought you were a sorcerer, she exclaims. Know, then, that the enchantment of the whirlpool matches the spell of the force field. Now be gone. I have no more minutes of my life to waste on you. Demand more. This seems like a trap. I'm excited by traps. Excuse me? Oh, maybe this is not a trap. You peer into the orb, and your jaw begins to drop, for inside the glass is a winged serpent. It is the sun serpent, Fenestra murmurs. The one called Flanker helped me to trap it. Whoa! I lured it down from the skies using a rain spell and offered it shelter, for the sun serpent cannot tolerate water, of course, and then he trapped it. I know Flanker well. Fenestra nods. This poor creature despises him, don't you? She taps the glass, and the serpent lunges uselessly against the glass in reply. Why not kill it? Her expression turns cold. The sun serpent is the mate of the water serpent. The water serpent killed my father, so I trapped it in revenge. But the creature might escape. We must destroy it for good. Fenestra narrows her eyes at you. Be warned, Annalander. This serpent will reach into your mind and control your will if you allow it. It would do anything to be free. Looking into the orb seems dangerous, doesn't it? That's not what I wanted. That's a P, not a T. I want to click on the T. Do we know that there's a counterspell for Tell? Which is presumably what it would do. I know that I've used Mag to defend myself from telepathy. Removing the skullcraft from your bag, you craft the spell. You hear the serpent's thoughts enter your mind. It is swirling around in anger, cursing Fenestra and you. But it clearly cannot escape the glass. Can I triple S here? Ooh, I can! Alright. Holding up the serpent ring, you cast the enchantment. The serpent hisses loudly in response, tries to wrap itself around its jaws. Foolish adventurer, it cries. I will be your death. Where are the other serpents? The only other serpent is fire, right? What advice can you give me? Beware the breath of the mucolytics. What? And I will tell you no more, and I hope you will forget. Where are the other serpents? The spell is worn off. Okay. Well, as long as it's trapped, that's good enough, right? You nod to her and leave the underground room. The sun serpent is trapped and should not be able to warn the Archmage of your coming. You have found 2 new clues, and other clues have been updated. Breath of the Mucolytics. There's a lot of, like, this future stuff here that may or may not be useful. Fascinating. And all that's left is the fire serpent? All that's left is the fire serpent. I think that counts as good enough, Cryptomancer. So that's good to know. A little light comes in through the open door, and the fire serpent is following us. But I don't know how to get it to engage. Close to the empty hut once more. Well, I guess... Do we just bolt? Rest a moment. Oh, that's nice. You rest on the fallen tree a short while, regaining a little strength. Then you have rested enough, and it is time to move on. Accurate. Let's once again casually abuse the laws of physics in order to prevent inconvenience. Now back at the foot of the tower. Up we go. So it's following me and waiting to make a move. And I don't know when that move is. Or what that move will be. I'm wondering if from here there will be a boat available. Or if I have to go up there first. Let's adjust the beam. Something like this. See if this is good. I'm hoping that there will be a boat in the past. I don't know. It's suspicious for sure. The boat is gone. Return inland. Okay. So I can't just turn this off, can I? I don't think I can. But I can definitely make it, like, point a different direction. I mean, I guess worst case I can always swim. It's not that far at this point. And anything I had that could be ruined is already ruined. Yeah, there's not even anything I want to do with this light. A pole with a bell seems to have appeared by the shoreline. But the ferryman is long dead. So that's not helpful, unfortunately. Alright, so the question is, do we just swim here? Or do I instead teleport up to here and take the boat? Because I know I left the boat up here. I think we could just swim. It's not that far. You will have to keep going. Yes. Near the statues. That's what I want. You try to maintain a regular rhythm as you swim. The sky is beginning to warm in the east. You've reached the south shore of the lake. The magnificent stone harbor is set between two towering statues of sorcerers who reach to the sky as though to pluck down the constellations directly. The Zaman Road! You could clamber ashore, and the road to High Zaman begins the harbor. You have survived the backlands, but you have not defeated all of the serpents. You could race on, or turn back and try to bring down your remaining foe. It's following me! How do I lure it in? It's waiting for a chance to attack. What chance would it have to attack? So, it's clearly letting me know now that if I move on, I am leaving the serpent alive, which is not a good move, right? Like, that seems like it would not be beneficial for me. Well, if that's the case, what should I do instead? Find a fire and stay the night by it? Maybe that'll be, like, the chance for the fire serpent to attack? Following me. Where did I see large blazes? The only place I can think of is the Clotamen, actually. Because that's current, right? And it needs to be current. Let's touch the blue. Head down here and go to the village of the Clotamen. Do I want to adjust this beam? Is there anything I want to do with this beam? There's this thing which I still don't know what to do with. And the Klotamen will not be there. Whatever. The village is only barely there. I wonder what's... Is there... Is this shining its light over here? Oh, maybe it is. Maybe that means we need to adjust this beam so that the Klotamen village will actually be there. Yep. Okay. Cool. It keeps letting me cast spells here. What could I cast? How important is this? I guess I could cast Farsight. We could zip. I could howl. Not that I think that's useful. Oh, right. It's the healing spells. We could always just cast healing spells while we're here. No, it's fine. I don't feel like I need a Farsight either. Yeah, away we go. Keep walking. Get out of the mud, and then we'll find a suitable place to sleep. You should keep going. This is no place to rest, apparently. All right, let's rest at the village. The village has always been a rewarding place to sleep. Awake all night. God damn it! The guards ignore you. Push my way in. Good. I'm waiting by the fire. Stop and eat, sure. Is there not like a wait for night option? I feel like there was a wait for night option at some point. Maybe we can just walk around in the steppes for a bit and then it'll be night. There's a pit in the ground here with a dead batty beetle in the bottom of it. Oh yeah, huh? Because I killed the beetle. Like, I don't know what's happening here, but like nothing is happening. I'm just walking around waiting for nightfall so that the fire will be lit. Smell the flowers again. Nope. My pathing. It will be night soon. Okay. Is this skirt past? I want it to be night, though. Is it night yet? To the forest? I don't want to be in the forest. All right, now it's night. I continue to march. Let's go to the... We're going to the village. Into the village. God, what a mess. By the fire. Yes, thank you. Cook my food. Make some rations. I'll save it because I can just eat pig here. We'll eat some pig. Pig is delicious. Warm my hands. That's nice. You take a moment to simply rest and stare into the fire. You feel the stupidness of this place sinking into your bones in relaxing fashion. Fascinating. You stand and take your leave of the fire. So we can rest at the hammocks. And close my eyes. You do not dream. Leaving only one more serpent to destroy. Where do I go to fight this serpent? Alright, Ragnar, direct question. What do I do to advance my game state here? Is there somebody that I need to talk to? Is there a particular fire I need to wait by? Do I just move on? How do I advance this? There's places that I could go that I haven't been, either in my current time or in the past. But, like, I'm just roaming around trying to do things, and I don't want to be just roaming around trying to do things. I have no particular idea as to what is good now. And it really seems like I should know what's good right now. Like, you've only ever seen the fire serpent in the forest of Snatta. Okay. And he just randomly assaults you at some point? Or, like, do you do a thing that triggers him? I can roam around the serpent. There's definitely more places to go in the forest. Roam around the forest, rather, not roam around the serpent. Could burn the forest down, can I? I'm much refreshed. Left path on the forest of Snatta. Alright. That's helpful. And we know the fire serpent's weakness. We just throw sand at it. How many fireballs is 22 stamina? 7, actually. Things scurry in the branches all around you. As the morning moves on, the wind begins to rise. The path winds tortuously through this forest. The sun is hot now. A damp chill hangs in the air. You hear a soft padding sound on the path behind you. You whip round, expecting to see something terrible at your back, but there's nothing there. The path is quite empty. You check the trees either side, but find nothing. The path is quite empty. You turn back and start to walk once more. The padding noise begins once more, but more quietly, until you lose track of it. You stride on. I see. You walk on between the trees. Mid-afternoon haze makes the air damp. The path looks wide and well used, but there are no signs of who or what uses it. Then, a little further along, you reach a spot where the trail is suddenly narrower, with bushes tight on either side. Suspicious. You pause to look at the bush and see that its branches are twitching ever so slightly, curling and uncurling like reaching fingers. Live tree? Dangerous tree? I don't think I want to squeeze through that. You draw your long sword warily. The branches seem to curve back as though recoiling. But surely it is simply the breeze. Huh. You raise your longsword to hack away the branches. They react faster this time. Long wooden tendrils whip out, grasping your wrists and arms. You cannot swing your sword now. And meanwhile, another tendril is looping itself around your neck. Stranglebush. Use an item? Essence of bark? Huh. Twisting your wrist, you manage to work the stopper free. The vial falls, pouring over the inside of your bag. The reaction from the stranglebush is immediate. The branches unwind and you're released. It seems it only attacks animals, but the scent of the essence is strong enough to confuse it. You step clear of the retreating tendrils defiantly. Well, that worked. You follow what might be a path and might be an old river through the trees of the forest. You still feel shaky from your encounter with a stranglebush. The afternoon is starting to draw on. You pause as a thin, red-colored snake slides all across your path. Okay, this is definitely the fire serpent. The thin, red snake, absolutely the fire serpent. Got it. You draw your sword to skewer the snake, but it is too fast for you, twisting and turning to escape the blade and disappearing into the foliage. Absolutely follow it. It seems remarkably intelligent for a serpent. The snake reaches the foot of a tree and coils around the trunk. As you watch, the snake slithers quickly up the trunk. A moment later, its head drops down from a branch to stare at you. You approach the tree, catching a glimpse of a thick red band in the branches. Then suddenly, the whole thing erupts into flame! Charge forwards? You charge forwards, convinced the flame is an illusion. It is not, and you feel burning heat on your skin. Oh no, my staminas! But just as soon as it began, the fire goes out, leaving a badly charred tree. Looking up into the branches, you see the red snake peering down at you. It has grown tenfold in size, and two fiery wings are now folded across its back. Sly eyes watch your movements, as if deciding its next attack. You stare in shock and fear. This blaze of hissing fury must be the fire serpent. Can I cast mud? I cannot cast mud. But I have sand. Bag of sand! If this is the fire serpent, then its weakness is sand. The creature watches you cautiously. Do I just throw the sand? Eat the apple? It's not that kind of serpent, Icarus. Pocket sand! Yes, exactly. Sure, let's just throw the sand. You toss the sand at the creature, but in the branch overhead it is too far away. The snake twists to one side, and the sand scatters to the ground lost. Luckily, you have more. You clamber up into the tree, but the serpent drops down in response. It begins to open its jaws. You empty your hand, scattering sand across the creature's back, just as it begins to breathe out a column of fire. Perfect. The creature's fire is extinguished immediately, and the sand seems to burn and burrow into the creature's hide. Its wings decay and fall to the ground. Scatter more sand! Do I have more sand? How much more sand do I have? Pouch of sand. Maybe just the one sand? Scatter more sand? Oh, good. You scatter another handful of sand across the creature's back, and it screams in agony! You have weakened it to the point of injury. Finally, you drop onto its back and break its neck. You step back, unbowed by this foul creature. Does the sand speak? God damn it, Senna. Just because it's sand. You have now defeated all of the servants. Huzzah! With all the serpents defeated, there is nothing stopping you from making your way to Mampang. You move on through the trees. Best way to place. Teleport. Teleport and swim. You crash through thick trees, opening up a new path. Bushes scratch and cut at you as you go. With the sun filtering through the leaves, the walk through the woods is pleasant. Strange trees and bushes line the path, and every now and then, you catch a glimpse of birds singing in the branches. Okay. Just because it's sand. Yeah, okay. Got it. Good. Great. You pause to forage between the trees, just off the main path. You walk between the trees. There's a bird's nest in one, just above head height. Oh, I definitely want feathers. Wow. Potentially very lucky. Clambering on a nearby rock, you peer into the nest. It contains an egg and a few bright yellow feathers from whatever bird made it. You hear a rustling in the bushes nearby. Take the feathers. You take the yellow feathers. They must come from some kind of canary. I'm not going to take the egg. You scour the low bushes. A few have berries, which look ripe and good to eat. Another, larger bush has wide, leathery leaves, which might be useful for something. I'll take berries. Oh. You gather a handful of berries and put them into your pack. Suddenly, something, you do not see what, erupts from a nearby bush, bowling you over. Before you can react, the thing has sunk teeth into your shoulder and is dragging you through the trees. Can I foff myself? No. But I can law. Given that this is probably a Snatacat. Reaching up to the constellations above, you create the spell and reach out to take control of the creature's mind. The spell works, and a moment later, the claws are released. You order the creature to reveal itself, and it slowly materializes. And a moment later, a Snatacat is standing before you. The spell is wearing thin, however, as the creature, realizing it's exposed, yelps and races away into the trees. Okay, goodbye, thing. Excuse me? Oh, I got dragged through the trees. Yep. Pick yourself up and look around. We're going over here. Not gonna swim when I don't have to. We're gonna zen ourselves across. Back at the foot of the tower. You should find yourself somewhere safe to sleep, especially after going all day without food. How about here, in the tower? Is this not safe? Sleep here. Ah, there it is. You have eaten nothing today. Oh, we should eat something. You eat a joint of roasted meat and feel much better for it. Good. We did it. We did everything. You pick yourself up to your feet, feeling much better for resting in such a quiet, secluded spot. Yeah, it's a nice place. Alright, time to get the heck out of here. Handful of berries. Are the berries going to get ruined by swimming? Hello? Hello? Thank you. Jump into the water. Yep, berries are ruined. Your spellbook is getting soggy, but remains otherwise intact. Okay. You have reached the south shore of the lake. You could clamber ashore, and the road to High Zamen begins from the harbor. You have defeated all 7 serpents. Time, then, to put ashore and proceed to High Zamen and the Crown of Kings. Did my feathers get ruined? Nope. Good. You drag yourself dripping ashore. Heat beats down from a cloudless sky. You've successfully crossed the wastes of Kakhabad. The road to High Zamen winds southeast from here. Now the serpents are defeated. The only way is forward. Statues? You look at the towering statues on either side. A sorcerer on the left, a sorceress on the right. Each lifts a hand to the sky, reaching for the power of the stars, winding them, moving the constellations with their fingertips. The figures show might, power, and confidence. Magic, they say, is a force for the betterment of all. Perhaps this was true once. Now, magic is just the thread that keeps you alive, and as more magic collects into the hands of the Archmage, it will spell death for all. Something glints between the statue's toes. Really? Set in the wedge between the 4th and 5th toe of the left statue is a small blue crystal. Oh! There's a teleport crystal. Except we can't teleport back to here. We can just teleport away. I don't want to teleport away. I'll look, but I'm not going to touch it. There is no time to waste. I agree. The time to waste is long since past. You begin the slow climb. Ahead, the stony road leads into the Zanzunus towards the fortress at Mampang and the final stage of your quest. You may yet be able to arrive in secret, assuming Fenestra can keep the sun serpent trapped inside her orb. You pass a fallen tree from which a sword hilt protrudes. Obviously, look at the thing! You look at the hilt. You look at the blade. The hilt is that of a very fine blade indeed, and scratched into the sword are 2 words. A gift. For me? Why, thank you. Ah, from Flanker. What a nice guy. You draw the blade smoothly from the wood. It is long, curved, delicately weighted, butterfly sharp. This is a blade of the Assassin's Guild, no less. In the far distance, a shadowy figure disappears from view. Ahead as always. You raise the blade in salute. You have taken 21 days to cross the Backlands. It was a hell of a journey. It is almost certain that the Archmage has received word of your journey by other messengers in that time. Who knows who the serpents told before you found them? You walk on, disheartened. Oh, I'm disheartened. I don't want to be disheartened. What is this sword? Assassin sword +4. Yo. Finely weighted, sharp-edged sword of the Assassin's Guild. Yahtzee. I should have speedrun it, yep. As you walk, you are stopped by a man, bent double under a great load. You, he demands breathlessly. You are going to Hai Zamin? That is where this road goes. The man nods. I know. He adjusts his grip on his heavy pack. I'm going home, he tells you. Home is Kariyama, a little village over the lake, over the marsh. I'm sure you won't know it. I know it. I've been there. He smiles. Oh, do you? I'm glad. I'm glad of that. A frown crosses his face. Only I was worried by something I heard while leaving. What did you hear? The birdmen up at the fortress were talking, you see, about the beacons. They said the beacons were emptying the land. I'm a simple peasant. I don't know anything about magic, but I'm headed home as fast as I can. Emptying it? How can a beacon empty anything? That's what they said, he says with some agitation. They said the beacons were wiping out whole villages, leaving only bare rock and dust behind. It sounded so strange, but then I heard the rumors that Tinpang had been turned into a ruin overnight, and all the people gone. His voice drops to a whisper. They said it's being done by the most evil sorcerer in the land. Fascinating. Hey, Neto, how's it going? And who is that? They called this the sorcerer. Annul Land. Ha! This is the sorcerer of Annul Land. Yeah. How am I doing? I'm doing good. Someone saw him turn the light into Tinpang, and then it was gone. What do the beacons do? They are supposed to keep us safe, he shrugs helplessly. I'm going home as fast as I can. Fascinating. So from the perspective of someone in the past, if I'm turning a beacon onto their territory, it becomes the future. Because this dude is clearly living in the past, right? He's heading to Kariyama. Kariyama doesn't exist in the present. Kariyama only exists in the past. Fascinating. His knuckles turn white on the strap of his pack as he talks. But listen, you look like a strong sort, so I'll tell you what. If you see this sorcerer on Null Land, then you kill him for us. I cannot, you reply quietly. If you get the chance, you see about that. He pats you seriously on the shoulder. Think of the children. With that, he shoulders his pack once more and hurries away down the path, to be quickly lost in the mist. Wow. Wow. On either side, the ghosts of ancient traders, sorcerers, and carts rumble up tracks in the steppes, delivering supplies to the fortress. Now, out of the pit of the backlands, these figures are only half real. One calls out to another and rushes through you, and you feel nothing. Yeah, temporal anomalies make things very strange. The only inhabitants remaining are birdmen, cursed to the air, that shriek like demons to each other. I see. The sun sinks down behind the tallest peaks, and its dying rays light up a sight you will remember for the rest of your days, however few or numerous they are. Mampang. Tall spires and sharp angles make the building look like a rusted blade. One thing is certain, entering the fortress will undoubtedly be the most perilous stage of your journey. Away we go. Your journey across the backlands is complete. You took 21 days. In the course of your journey, you defeated all 7 serpents, trusting Fenestra to keep the Sun Serpent trapped, encountering Flanker once more, left the Sightmaster Sergeant in his last moments, met Elthera the Mystic twice, and defied the will of the reclining god Ka'oth. You learnt that all spells can be countered. Of the ram, a statue in Mampang, which can be sung to sleep, and not to eat from the larder of Throg. You collected a fantastic number of magical artifacts. I really did. You are armed with an assassin's sword, a long sword, your original sword, which is garbage, have 3 rations, 25 gold pieces, and a spellbook. Not to rub it in, Inkling. You like my green screen? Thank you. I've done my best with it. I've certainly fiddled around with the settings. The adventure concludes in Sorcery 4, The Crown of Kings. Coming soon. Alright, what is my cloud save? My cloud save is still Jekiga. Great. Thank you. Also a silver sword? That's true, also a silver sword. I can juggle! I don't think I want to be a sword juggler. Well, this worked out pretty well. Fighting fantasy. Performed by the $99 orchestra. Wow. It's 2 different swords. I have an assassin sword and a longsword. No synthesizers. And now we have the cloud spell. All right, cool. So that's it for part 3. Wow, well done, everybody. Good work. Handled all of them serpents. Did I murder that one puny assassin? No! Flanker lives on.